Hi, everyone, and welcome to this special edition of Murrow Minutes Goes Virtual for the summer season. We are super excited to have you with us today. Again, my name is Mackenzie Johnson, and I will be your host for this and all Murrow Minutes Goes Virtual episodes. Today, like our title says, we're going to be talking about our online programs. And to do that, we actually invited two of our current students that are in our Murrow online programs to give you a little bit of information about what it's like to be a student, but not necessarily on a location-based campus. So we're super excited to talk to them and learn a little bit about what their experience has been like and the things that they're hoping to do with their degree once they graduate. But first, before we jump in and let them introduce themselves, I do want to give a little overview into the programs that we do offer through the Murrow College, but on the online campus. The first thing to know is that our online campus is called the Global Campus. Just like many of you might attend the Pullman campus or the Everett, Tri-Cities, or Spokane campuses, if you're a part of one of our online programs, you actually are a part of the community called Global Campus at Washington State University. That's where our guest speakers are located on their campus, and they'll talk about that when we ask them some questions. But for Murrow College, the degrees that we offer, I'm going to go ahead and talk about those really quick, and then we'll get into our panel discussion with our students. So the first degree that we offer is a Bachelor of Arts in Integrated Strategic Communication. We also have a communication minor that you can pair either with that or with any other online program that you might be completing, like in engineering or arts and sciences or in the natural sciences. We also have two online master degree programs as well, one in strategic communication and one in health communication and promotion. Those are both great programs that we're actively promoting right now. And if those interest you, you actually still have time to apply to get into our fall classes. So we'll talk more about that at the end of the episode. We also offer two online certificate programs as well. So for those of you that are either in the Murrow College hoping to obtain these certificates at a graduate level, or if you're a part of some other graduate program and want to earn a certificate in the College of Communication, we offer two, one again in strategic communication and another in health communication and promotion. So we offer a lot of online programs for both undergraduate and graduate students that we would love for you to be a part of. But before you decide if that's something that's a good fit for you, it's important that we talk about the student experience. And because I'm not a student, what we've done is we've asked our current students to answer some questions for you guys. So before we get started, I am going to turn it over to them to introduce themselves, a little bit about their major, where they're from, and what degree they're hoping to earn in the next couple of years. So Alyssa, I'll go ahead and turn that over to you first.
Awesome. My name is Elissa. I am in the Integrated Strategic Communications program, and I'm graduating. I actually just submitted my last assignment last weekend. So I kind of just did a couple internship credits this over summer quarter. So I'm just wrapping that all up, and I should be officially graduated by the end of July, I guess. And I'm from Linden, Washington. So about 9 hours from the Pullman campus and like 2 from the Everett.
Hi, my name is Gabby Mangaro, well, Gabriella, but Gabby for short. I am part of the MA Global Campus studying strategic communications. I am based in LA, so pretty far from Washington, but hopefully if all goes well, I graduate fall of 2020 this year. So hopefully I'll get to visit it. But yeah, fingers crossed on that one.
Yeah, fantastic. That's great. We're happy to have you guys here with us to answer some questions. As a recruiter, I get a lot of questions from students about, what it would be like to be a part of these online programs. What is the experience like working with faculty? What do you hope to do after you graduate? So we have an awesome perspective from both an undergraduate student and a graduate student to answer these questions today. So what I'll do is I'll throw out the questions and that we kind of sent you guys previously. And then you guys can just kind of go ahead and answer them for us. We'll work down the list. And then at the end, I'll make sure to share my contact information for those of you that may have additional questions and want to chat with me over the phone or via email about some of the program questions you might have. So the first question, this is one that I always submit. I always start with this at any presentation or anytime I'm giving information to students. So what made you guys, both in the undergraduate and graduate perspective, what made you guys choose the Murrow College? We'll talk about the online experience in just a second, but what made you choose Murrow specifically? And I'll turn that over to you first, Liz.
I ended up choosing Murrow College. I transferred 3 or 4 times around from different schools. And after finishing up my associate's degree at a local community college, I actually was working in a job that I really enjoyed. I work in a women's clothing boutique, and I was just starting to kind of like dip my toes into helping with the social media presence there. And so I was like, wow, I think this is something I could really go into. I really enjoy it. And I started looking at different communications programs at universities close to me. So I actually started at Western Washington University and had a good experience, but the program was a lot more journalism based than I anticipated. So after one semester, I started just kind of like looking around online, and I found the integrated strategic communication through Murrow College. And I was so excited because it had all kinds of classes that I was like, wow, I could see myself using that in my current job, which was just kind of a cool um, idea, like that I could be kind of like learning by experience too, and kind of getting to benefit my workplace as well by learning the skills. So yeah, so it just ended up being a better fit for what I wanted to do career wise. And I loved the flexibility of Murrow College from doing it from global campus, because that just meant I could work more and I could kind of do the classes when it suited me to.
So for me, it kind of comes as like a pretty funny story. So one of my old co-workers turned into a friend, is also a student at the Murrow College, and she's also getting an MA in strategic communication. So it helps out that we kind of understand how the whole online schooling goes. So basically, I was looking around for colleges around me when I realized that I wanted to pursue higher education. And I realized one was the cost was incredibly expensive. And two, I really didn't have time with my career going to school at night. And especially since I was working at the time. And yeah, it didn't fit my schedule. And it was very tough to basically decide what school to go out here to. And thankfully, my friend recommended the school. And I mean, with it being like such a prestigious school after Edward R. Murrow, I mean, he's amazing. And the curriculum looked great. And I really liked how a lot of the classes that are offered really correlate greatly to a lot of the things I do in both communications and journalism. So I think it's a nice trade-off with everything that's offered. And I really liked how hands-on it is, even though it's online. So that was very appealing to me.
What fantastic answers. Thank you both so much for sharing that. I think this program, when you're in either in our undergraduate or graduate online program, I often ask, why did you choose Murrow? But a lot of times the Murrow and online go hand in hand, just like you guys talked about, where, I was looking for a more flexible degree program that also gave me that hands-on experience to prepare me to get the job I want, or to prepare me better for the job I'm already doing. So that's fantastic that you guys shared that. And I really do appreciate that perspective for our future students. Kind of segueing off of that, I think our next question that I always have for students that are completing any kind of degree program online is, what does your day-to-day schedule look like? Right. So ultimately, you chose the Murrow College, you chose online, you registered for your classes, and you jumped in. Right. So what does your day-to-day routine look like as far as completing your coursework? Do you have a routine? Is it nice to have that flexibility? Would love to kind of get you guys' perspective on that. So again, I'll turn over to you. I'll turn over to you, Liz, first.
Yeah, I think it honestly changed like semester to semester and even like sometimes week to week. But a lot of the times I would kind of just meet with my boss when I was going over my class plan, and I would just figure out which days per. I would usually take like 2 to 3 days off per week, and then just devote those like entirely to school. And I would just, yeah, at the beginning of the week, write out all the assignments that needed to be completed by which due dates, and then I would just take those days to, yeah, just really knock out what I needed to get done for school. And it was kind of a good way for me to compartmentalize my school life and my work life, because I just felt like I could really make the most of my time. Whereas when I was going to classes, like physical classes before this, I always felt like I was driving back and forth. And I would also have like 2 hours between classes, and I would be stuck on campus. And I just felt like I wasn't working nearly as much as I could have been, which is, I mean, I just enjoy my job. So I wanted to work more, but also that like school is financially stressful. So I was like, wow, I feel like I could be working a lot more, but just I'm running out of time. Yeah. So it just kind of, it depended on the week, but it was nice that I could make my own schedule at the end of the day.
For me, what my class routine usually looks like, and I think it's like what I mostly really appreciate from the program is the flexibility. Like, yeah, I do have a schedule that I really try to stick to, but it's kind of tough sometimes. I mean, life gets in the way, and you got to do what you got to do. But basically, I really devote a few, maybe like a few days a week after work where I really just sit down in front of my computer and just try and knock out everything I can. But I like am very aware of mental health and the stress that can take on us too. So I try and spread it out as best I can. But it's good to know that I can reach out to professors whenever I basically want, and they'll reply even if it's 10 p.m. So yeah, like even then, if I'm at work, if it's my break, I can take out my computer and do some work, or go away for a bit and do it there, or even on a trip. Like it's so convenient.
That's great. That's honestly probably the biggest advantage that we have that we can give to students for being part of our online programs is that flexibility, like you both stated. I think a lot of our students that enroll in either the undergraduate or graduate programs with the Murrow College, in an online setting, ultimately, I think they feel that they're already in the career path that they want to do, or they do want to keep working without taking a break, right? And they want that flexibility and still being able to earn the degree that they're very passionate about. So I love that you both mentioned that in relation to still keeping a job or being able to work in the field that you want to be in. And like Gabby mentioned, life also comes up too. So having that flexibility in that degree program, especially right now with COVID and everything else going on in our country, I think that flexibility is a really big advantage to potential students. So thank you both for sharing that. So, you both committed to Murrow and online. You've got kind of a nice flexible schedule as far as trying to balance work and school and other life things. But getting back to the Murrow College, how do you guys feel like you stay connected to the Murrow College? So is it through faculty, social media? What are the things that connect you to the college that you attend? So Gabby, for example, you mentioned Edward R. Murrow. That's a really big piece of our legacy. And so what are the ways that you guys stay connected with us?
Yeah, I think a big part of it was just like Gabby said, having like the faculty and advisors just like always like ready and willing to help. My advisor Chris was always super helpful, always had a response within like hours, and just always willing to schedule a phone meeting or kind of just. I feel like faculty and advisors always went out of their way to make sure we were bridging that gap, between like for interpersonal communication, even though we aren't meeting in person, it felt like then there was just that extra effort in place to make sure that we still felt like supported in our education and our studies. Um, and then another cool thing is that like, yeah, throughout I ended up, of course, taking a lot of the same classes as a lot of students. So we would recognize each other in discussion boards after a while. And now a few of us like follow each other on social media and get to like congratulate each other when we it's been cool seeing, yeah, just the different friends and peers I've made through online classes. Cool seeing them come up on the end of their degree this semester too, seeing like posts about it and being able to like cheer them on and be like, you did it, oh my gosh, like way to go. Even though we've never met in person, it's cool to kind of have those relationships.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think the staff and the faculty are absolutely amazing and completely consider the fact that a lot of us, for example, me and like my program, we are working professionals, and we have hectic careers, but we have to come home to finish our online school work. So I definitely think that the connecting with the faculty without like ever seeing them sometimes is awesome. And I personally like really go to social media to feel more connected. like for instance, the Facebook page or even the LinkedIn page, I find incredibly helpful, as I see a lot of like the my professors on there constantly posting or being spotlighted for their work. So that's awesome. And like Liz mentioned, uh, being able to connect with a lot of the students, I've gone on to add them to social media and like LinkedIn, and I've gone to see that a lot of them have graduated and a lot of them actually lived by me. So it was great to kind of bounce off each other and have that willingness to connect and kind of promote each other and have each other's backs that way.
That's fantastic. Great answers from both of you. Without even meaning to, you guys answered the next question on my list, which I love. My biggest question, and I think a lot of concerns that students and even parents have about online programs is, what is it like to engage with your faculty in a virtual way? And you both answered that when talking about how to stay engaged with the Murrow College. And if that doesn't speak to how dedicated our faculty and advisors are to our students, then I don't know what does. Both of you kind of answered that within another question entirely. And so I do appreciate you guys talking about our faculty. They work day in and day out, and our advisors, to make sure you guys get your questions answered, that you feel supported, and that you feel connected to us, even though you may be across the country or across the world. So great answers from both of you. Thanks again for sharing that with us. The next couple of questions kind of tie hand in hand, so I'll ask them both together, and you guys can answer, however you'd like to, whatever you'd like to share with us. But the big questions, again, that we get from students that are already in the program or that are looking to graduate is, do you feel prepared for professionally once you graduate from the Murrow College, right? So do you feel like the things that you're learning right now are ultimately preparing you for a future in the degree, in the career path that you want to do? And talking maybe a little bit about what career you want to stay in or what you're ultimately hoping to do after you graduate. So if you guys want to just share with us a little bit about that experience, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, it's been really cool to kind of see, like I said, when I first looked into the program, I saw all of the classes that were listed and I was like, oh my gosh, these are going to be incredible. Like, that's stuff I want to know how to do. So I currently work in marketing in retail, actually. And it's been kind of a really interesting season for us too, just because obviously we're in the middle of a pandemic and we had to shut our storefront for probably what was like 3 months. And we just we got to reopen, like soft open last week again. But we had to move, we didn't have an online store before that. And we had to move everything online in a matter of like weeks. And it was super stressful, but I was just like so impressed by, I don't know, it really put my degree to the test because I was in my last semester and it was like, okay, like it's go time. Like now I have to use all this stuff that I've been learning. And I got to really put it to the test and see if we can kind of use it to, kind of start our business in a whole new landscape. So I had to use, a lot of I took classes like digital content promotion, digital content creation, like marketing, advertising, public relations, campaign management. And so there was just it was really cool to see how everything I had learned in the last 2 years just got woven in the last couple months, especially. So it was obviously like a hard few months, but that was definitely one blessing that came from it to see. I'm like, okay, like this was a good choice. I'm confident in my degree now. And so I don't know totally what the future is for me. I'm really happy here for now. I've got an amazing team at work here. We get to bounce off of each other, different departments and stuff. And I really enjoy my work. I'd definitely be open to working at like an agency or something eventually, a marketing agency. But for now, I'm happy. I have job security and I enjoy what I do. So.
Yeah, for me, I really got to see like the hands-on behind it while applying it to my job. So for instance, I was working PR for the LA Tourism Board prior to COVID. So I really got to see a lot of the classes that I was in, like actually apply them to my work. So for instance, like a lot of the crisis management, the brand development, the research, the ethics, the persuasion, like everything, I was able to apply it, which was so funny at the time because while I was going through these courses, I thought like, oh, I wonder how I can apply it to my actual job. And it turned out to be like hand in hand. So I also got to get like mentorship from a lot of the directors and like the VP of my department when they realized that I was in the program. So I got to see how, how relatable it is to my career and how I'm going to be able to apply it now and in the future. So I really felt like that was a great way of realizing how effective the program truly is.
Absolutely. I think you both nailed it right on the head there, that these are really practical degrees that you guys are getting right now, especially once everything with COVID hit. I mean, even me interacting with the students that are in these degree programs, I was like, hey, I could really use your help with moving some of this online and looking at how do we promote this digitally and what are the ethics behind this decision. Absolutely. I think that kind of seeing that hands-on application has probably really brought to light to a lot of students that, hey, I'm in the right degree path and I know that this is what I want to do. And we love hearing that about our online programs as well. I do want to mention to those of you watching the video that, again, one of the online master's programs that we do offer is in health communication and promotion, which that is more relevant now than it ever has been, truly in our society, because it teaches you the communication piece of what it would be like, for example, to go through a pandemic or any other health crisis. But it also has that health background and promotion with it as well. So it's a really great way to integrate kind of everything that's going on in our society. So I encourage you guys to take a look at it on our website. Moving along with our questions here. Next question that this was actually submitted from our faculty members and kind of want your kind of take on this as well. But do you guys feel like you are a part of the WSU and Murrow family? At Washington State University and at the Murrow College, we talk about, Cougs help Cougs, right? We're a family. We'll help each other, go through a difficult course or get your questions answered or be flexible with deadlines or anything that we can do to help support you. So in what ways do you feel like you're a part of that family, even though you may not be on one of the physical campuses?
Yeah, I think it's, again, like I said, like being able to meet other global campus peers, and some of them were students that also studied at Pullman or Everett or Vancouver. And that was really cool too, to kind of have a mix of students in the global programs. And I think another way is just like Gabby mentioned earlier, like the Facebook pages and the LinkedIn pages. And then also, like, I even was browsing through, I think it's called like Murrow Jobs or something the other day, where people were posting just like different job openings in our fields that are opening up in communications. And then I just saw like different alum commenting, like, I know the hiring manager, like send me a message if you'd like an introduction and stuff like that. So I think it's really cool to see, yeah, just like the community come around the global campus students too. And I feel more connected on global campus somehow than at some of the physical colleges I've attended, which is a really strange feeling. But I just feel like there's that extra step, like I said before, is taken to ensure that students feel included and supported.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's 100% true. The support felt with the online program is immense. Like, I can't stress that enough, how good it feels to know that, you're in anything you're worried or stressed about. If you reach out, extensions or deadlines or stuff like that, like, teachers are more than happy to accommodate things like that. And definitely seeing how proud a lot of people are to be Cougs and, to wear that with pride. And it's funny when I always tell people that I go here and they're like, you go all the way over there. And I'm like, no, the online program, but it's like I'm there. Like, the classes are so integrated and like hands-on for an online program, which I can see why that might be odd, but like, it's a sense of community, like the discussions, the work. Like, I mean, if I were to reach out to a student for help, I'm more than 100% sure that they would reply, as that's happened. But yeah, like, the support is truly so rewarding and comfortable to know that you have that.
Wow, thank you guys so much for sharing that. I love hearing about your positive experiences with, the Murrow online programs, but also with the global campus through Washington State University. Again, it's happened that my next question was going to be, what do you love about the global campus and what are the resources that you get from that? but it ties perfectly with our Murrow online programs, right? So not only do we offer support with our faculty and our advisors through Murrow, but you guys also get support through the global campus through webinars and, career advice and, professional help that all offer through the global campus for students, not just in Murrow, but in any online program. So great of you guys to share that. The global campus is so happy to hear that. I know they put a lot of effort into making sure you guys feel engaged and supported as well. So I love that you guys feel connected to all of the communities that we really put out there for you. So that's great to hear that. So I do want to kind of wrap up our session with just a couple more questions here, really kind of geared towards students who may be considering completing their undergraduate degree with Murrow Online, or graduate students who may be looking for that professional degree program as well. So from each of your perspectives, what would you say to students who are thinking about joining one of our Murrow Online programs? What would you say to them if they said, hey, I'm thinking about this? What would be your response to them?
I mean, if it's not clear by now, I think it's pretty obvious. I would say go for it. I've really enjoyed my time here. Obviously, it's bittersweet. I'm super happy I'm graduating and ready to move on, but it's been a really good experience. So it's weird to say goodbye to that chapter in my life. And I would really encourage anyone considering it to just give it a try, especially in a time right now. I mean, there's not no better time to try it out since a lot of places are moving online anyway. Um, and I think the one thing is that you do have to be like a pretty self-motivated person, or at least be able to learn those skills. So yeah, so I would say probably a little bit of self-examination is required to see, like, is this something I'm capable of, or do I really need to be like in person in classes, or can I can I kind of be on myself for getting the work done? But I think that's something that can be learned too. I started by doing hybrid classes, and I kind of was doing half and half, and then eventually went fully online, and it was great. So I think pretty much everyone is capable of it. It just is a bit of a learning curve at first.
I totally agree with that learning curve. This is probably, one of the first times that I've actually done a whole program online. So I would definitely say that, yeah, you do have to motivate yourself and to do it. But just knowing that there are a lot of, like, you have a lot of allies, there are a lot of ways to support, your education, and for ask for help, and it's always there. But I would definitely recommend people do it. We don't, like, a lot of us don't really have the luxury of going in person to class, and while that, a lot of people might confuse that and say, like, oh, well, I rather go on in person, I feel like I have a better grasp of things. But honestly, like, I can't really tell the difference. I mean, yeah, it's great to have a professor in front of you, and talk to them, but it being online, just the flexibility is just amazing. That's probably the best thing I can say, that, if we have technology all around us and we can go to school online and still continue to have, like, our priorities and everything else in our lives, I think that that's amazing. And why not take advantage of an opportunity like that?
Absolutely. I totally agree with what you both have said. Obviously, you guys really enjoyed your degree program specifically, but something that I really appreciate as well is that when students can say, you know what, we might be online this fall semester anyway, due to COVID and other technology type changes that we may be looking at. So this is a great time to try it. If you've ever thought that, hey, I might do okay online, then jump in, join our global campus programs, work with Murrow Online, and we'll get you started on that. So I love that you both shared that piece with us. Last question, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up here is, again, just to our potential and future students, do you guys have any other advice or anything that you'd like to share from your experience for students who might be watching this?
I would say definitely just kind of come up with a plan or a structure in the beginning, because it can be kind of overwhelming. I remember, like, my first semester of being completely online. It went well and I felt super supported, but it's, like we said earlier, a learning curve. And you're also in charge of all these deadlines, and you're not sitting next to someone who's like, oh, did you start on that paper that's due on Friday? Like, it's kind of a lot of it's up to you. So something that I found really helpful was just kind of keeping a planner, and at the beginning of the week, kind of writing down the deadlines, like, okay, what needs to get done this week, and not overwhelming yourself with, like, what's due this month or this semester. Like, look at all these things I have due, but, like, what can I do this week? And then I would just check them off as I went. And it just felt manageable to kind of have, just to take it in like smaller chunks. That worked for me. I don't know if it would work for anyone else, but I found that really helpful.
Yeah, I would also add to that like, don't forget that there's a whole community. There's a bunch of us that are taking online programs at WSU. So you're not alone. So there are support systems there that you can definitely go to. And like Liz said, like just keeping a plan, making sure, you're on top of your work and there's a deadline coming up, but never like have too much self-doubt that you aren't going to be able to do it. Because I mean, there are, like I mentioned, there are a ton of us doing these programs, and I think they're very beneficial, and there's unlimited support and help. There's so much you can do and get from these programs. So I would definitely say that as long as you have a plan and do consider like doing this for the long run, I think you should be fine.
What great perspectives from both of you. Thank you so much for sharing the pieces of advice and how to be successful in these programs. I think the biggest takeaway that I've learned tonight just from listening to you both is that, whether you're enrolled in an undergraduate or graduate online program with us in the Murrow College, you guys feel supported and connected, and you guys obviously have done it. I mean, you're getting through it and you're finding it applicable in your jobs. And I think that's just the coolest thing that we could tell our future students is that, hey, what you're learning is valuable and what you're going to be able to do with that is very hands-on and, like I said, applicable. So that's fantastic. I really appreciate you both sharing your perspective and being with us this evening. So if we were in front of people, I would say big round of applause for you both. So thank you so much for joining us. Before we sign off for this Murrow Minutes Goes Virtual episode, I do want to remind everybody that if you are watching this video and you have questions about our undergraduate programs or graduate programs, whether that's in person or online, you can contact me at any time and I'd be happy to chat with you over the phone or via email to answer any questions that you have. So my phone number is listed there, my email is listed there. And then finally, I do want to encourage you to visit our website as well, murrow.wsu.edu. All of our degrees, our curriculum, our advisors, all of our contact information is on there. So please feel free to reach out to me or anyone on our website. Like these guys have mentioned here with us tonight, we love answering your questions and making you feel supported, and we would love for you to join our Murrow and WSU family. So thank you both for joining us. Thanks for Conway in the background being here with us tonight. Thanks to our awesome marketing team in Murrow and our awesome faculty and advisors making this program possible. So with that, I'll go ahead and sign off, and we'll see you at our next Murrow Minutes Goes Virtual episode. So until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and go Cougs.